Good everyone. My name is Kaja. I'd like to talk about my project I built for Walrus and Hackathon. It's IoTrade, a decentralized IoT data marketplace. We built it to solve the problems that many IoT data sensor providers are being are facing. A large percentage of the IoT data that they collect in the sensors, they're not able to use it, they're not able to monetize it. And that results in data being siloed. Um, Platforms that need this data cannot be able to access it and they cannot to make money from the data they collect. And the main reason of that, the main cause of this is the centralized platforms that help providers to monetize the data, they take large percentage or they take large cut from providers. They're not transparent to the way they price or distribute it. And they're just way too expensive and that limits adoption. What would be more straightforward and simpler is a direct marketplace. So anyone can create data, anyone can subscribe to that a data feed. 95% of the revenue goes to the providers. We build this using the Swiss stack, Walrus, Seal. Walrus is to store the IoT data, and Seal is for encryption for sensitive data feeds. Also, we have real-time streaming using WebSocket APIs, so subscribers can be able to listen to live data feeds, and also the providers can be able to update their data feeds. So how it basically works is that the provider uploads the data and stores it on Walrus. Consumer can come to the marketplace, any data feed that is interested in, subscribes to it, and both of them get access to an API that can use to update the data, or in case of the subscriber, um, listening to the live data. So I'll show you a demo of how it works. This is my site. My dashboard. I just feed in the feed name, the category, the location, the update frequency, price per query, and my monthly subscription plan, and my initial data too. So this my initial data helps to understand the structure of the data that I'll be able to that I'll be sending here. So I will just create the feed. Um, I checked premium, which means that it is going to be encrypted with C. Um, so I'll approve this transaction. Since it's encrypted with C, I have to sign one more transaction to encrypt it. So I'll wait for that to start, then I'll continue. So feed has been created. So as a consumer, I just go to the marketplace to subscribe to it. So marketplace, I will able to see created data feeds. So here is the data feed I created. Um, so I'll subscribe to it. So this creates a subscription um, object and transfers it to my wallet. So in a sense, I own the subscription. So um, subscription is successful. So I can view my subscription and manage them from my dash, from my subscription tab. So I'll click manage. So here I have access to an endpoint that I can use to listen to the data feed. Also, I have access to API keys I can use to listen to data feed too. So when I'm making my request to the data endpoint, I have to add this to my API key header. So that's for the subscribers. Also, the providers they have access to an endpoint so they can use to update their data feeds. So that endpoint, you can use it in the IoT device. For example, on the ESP32, they could use it to send the data over HTTPS to update the data feed constantly, depending on and how they want it, and how they want it. So so same thing for the provider. They are able to manage the data. They have this endpoint they will use to send updates to the data feed. So they also have access to API key. So this is how a provider will be able to use his endpoints. So this is I was able to run a simple walkway simulation for the sake of this demo. In real production, this will run on an ES32 device. So basically, you set your feed ID here and your API key. So this code sends data um, every 10 seconds to my endpoint and updates data feed. So you can see the logs here. There have been successful uploads, and for example, this data sent was uploaded was this is the blob ID of the upload. Also, as a subscriber, I can be able to listen to this via WebSockets, so I can get live updates. So here's an example. So all I have to just input here is my API key and the feed ID I want to listen to. Then I press connect. So this is an example, and then I'm able to get the data stream of everything that has been sent. So this is what have been sent ever since. So there have been 5 readings here since. So this is an example of how the subscribers and the providers could be able to use the REST API to listen to their um, data feeds and update it in a sense. So the IoT data market is a very big market opportunity. It's expected to reach 143 billion by 2030. It has so many use cases. Industrial IoT data, there's smart home data, there's weather data. All these data can have an opportunity to be able to monetize and enable people around the world to access it globally. Also, it also unlocks another opportunity. AI agents in this for X42 era can be able to access IoT data that can enable them to make um, more detailed, more concise decisions. So that's an opportunity that IoT data can unlock. Thank you very much for listening.